A great story isn't a lecture, it's an infection. It enters the brain through a hook and replicates until the viewer can't think about anything else. You're currently obsessed with editing and automation, but those are just the delivery systems. The story is the payload. If the payload is weak, the delivery is a waste of bandwidth. You need to learn how to hit the limbic system before the logical mind can even put up a fight. Let's look at the code of the virus. Chapter 1. The brain is a pattern-matching machine that hates an open loop. When you start a story with a question that isn't answered, you've created a curiosity gap. This gap acts like a vacuum, pulling the viewer's attention forward until the loop is closed. Most creators give away the value too early. They think they're being helpful, but they're actually just killing the tension. The gap is where the hook lives. It's the I know something you don't signal. It's not about being clickbaity, it's about being compelling. You're making a promise that the resolution is worth the wait. Think of it like a CST sandwich in your grading workflow. You have the input, the adjustment, and the output. The gap is the adjustment, it's where the transformation happens. If you skip the middle, the final result feels flat. A story without a gap is just a list of facts. And facts are low-resolution data. People don't share facts, they share experiences. You want to turn your system into an experience that the viewer feels in their gut. The wider the gap, the stronger the pull. But if the gap is too wide, the viewer feels lost. You have to find the sweet spot of intrigue. You want them curious, not confused. That's the art of the architect. Once the gap is open, the brain is prone. It's ready to receive the information you want to give it. You've bypassed the scroll reflex and entered the processing mode. Now you just have to deliver the virus. Chapter 2. The best hooks play with the viewer's perception of competence. This is the Dunning-Kruger logic. You show them a problem they thought they understood, and then you show them why they're wrong. It's a pattern interrupt. When you challenge someone's internal map, they have to stop and reevaluate. This creates engagement. They aren't just watching, they're interacting with your logic. You've moved from passive video to active dialogue. The hook should hit the valley of despair or the peak of inflated expectations. You want to show them the hidden error in their life OS. You want to be the debugger who finds the ghost in their machine. Most SMEs fail because they talk down to their audience. They act like the mountaintop expert who has never struggled. That's boring. The sovereign architect shows the struggle and the system that solved it. People relate to the journey, but they respect the blueprint. By using psychological triggers, you're building authority without being arrogant. You're proving that your logic works in the real world. Every script should have a mirror moment, a moment where the viewer sees themselves in your story. If they see their inefficiency or their distraction in your words, they will trust your solution. You've echoed trust into the video. The virus is the realization that they need a better architecture, and you are the one holding the schematics. Once they accept that truth, the sale is already made. You aren't hustling, you're consulting. Chapter 3. Every story has a pulse. In your edit, this is the pacing. If the pulse is too fast, the viewer gets overwhelmed. If it's too slow, they get bored. You need a dynamic rhythm. The rhythm is how you manage cognitive load. You give a high-intensity insight, followed by a low-intensity visual. This allows the brain to render the information before the next packet arrives. It's systems optimization for the eyes. Think of your timeline as a living, breathing thing. The cuts should happen on the beat of the logic, not just the beat of the music. You're synchronizing the viewer's heart rate with your message. The cinematic soul comes from the silence between the frames. It's the long pause after a heavy sentence. It's the color shift that signals a change in mood. These are the subconscious anchors that keep them hooked. Most Gen Z content is hyper-stimulating 24/7. It's a constant scream for attention. But the sovereign knows that a whisper is often louder than a scream. Contrast is the key to retention. Use visual metaphors to explain technical concepts. If you're talking about wealth building, show the foundation of a house. If you're talking about automation, show a clockwork mechanism. Make the abstract feel physical. When the rhythm is right, the viewer enters a flow state with you. They lose track of time. They forget they are watching a video and feel like they are inside the system. That's when the infection is complete. Chapter 4. Every great story is about a transition from chaos to order. In your world, the hero is the systems architect, and the monster is the inefficiency. This is the hero's logic. Chapter 4. Every great story is about a transition from chaos to order. In your world, the hero is the systems architect, and the monster is the inefficiency. This is the hero's logic. You aren't just selling videography or apps, you're selling a new reality. You're showing the viewer how to move from being a victim of the algorithm to being the operator of the machine. It's a narrative of power. The conflict is the RAM paradox, or the focus tax we talked about in week 1. It's the weight that everyone feels but no one can name. When you name the monster, you give the viewer control over it. The resolution is the life OS. It's the para folders and the wealth machine. It's the architecture that allows the hero to win. You're providing the weapon for their personal war. This structure is timeless because it's biological. We are evolved to listen to stories about survival and growth. By using this framework, you're tapping into a million-year-old operating system. Don't just show the success, show the code that led to it. Show the debug process. Show the human who built the robot. This makes your brand feel authentic in an AI-generated world. The hero's logic ensures that your content has meaning. It's not just noise, it's a mission. And people don't just watch missions, they join them. You're building a community of digital architects. Chapter 5. The final stage of the virus is subconscious anchoring. This is where you link your brand to a specific feeling or identity. You want the viewer to think of sovereignty every time they see your color grade. This is why consistency in your visual language matters. Your CST sandwich shouldn't just look good, it should look yours. You're creating a digital signature that the brain recognizes instantly. Every video is a node in a larger network. If the nodes are cohesive, the network is strong. If the nodes are random, the network crashes. You're building a world, not just a channel. Use recursive hooks. Mention a concept from an earlier video to reward the loyal viewers. This creates a sense of belonging. It makes the viewer feel like they are part of an inside logic that the standard map can't see. The anchor is the final payoff. It's the aha moment where everything clicks. When the curiosity gap closes and the hero wins, the viewer feels a release of tension. They associate that release with you. This is how you build lifelong retention. You aren't competing for attention anymore. You've already captured it. You've moved from the marketplace to the mind. You are rent-free in their internal hard drive. The sovereign architect knows that storytelling is the most powerful automation tool ever created. It automates trust. It automates authority. It automates growth. You've mastered the virus. Now, let's talk about the multipliers. You've injected the virus, and the story is spreading. But even with a viral narrative, why does it feel like your circle is still holding you back? If your social network is full of dividers instead of multipliers, the system will eventually succumb to social friction. Check the previous video to see why your schedule is a lie. My Fallsteinsheim.